Pop the link in the group me. Oh, perfect timing.
Eric Spoelstra and Jimmy Butler almost got in a fight.
It was like him, Haslam, yeah, and Spoelstra. They said something about how Haslam was like, they don't know if Jimmy Butler could hang in his era, and then Jimmy Butler was like, you and Spoelstra were only relevant because of D-Wade. And it's like, yeah, what's good, Austin?
It's tragic.
There we go.
Ah, cool. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. We are already
All right.
live, by the way. I'm just letting you know.
Sweet. All right.
Honestly, we can just get started. We're gonna have Rishi pop in too in 15 minutes or so.
All right. I'm gonna have to take a little leave because I once again mistimed my dinner. So it'll take me like 5 minutes.
All good. You know, we'll wait. You get back and then we'll start officially.
All right, sweet.
But yeah. While we're waiting. I don't know, what should we? Yeah, I have NFL offseason, March Madness. Shout out to North Macedonia from Chase.
Yeah, that's in North Macedonia. No surprise there.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess if their whole team's injured, then
Well, it's just not even.
it is.
It's like I think they beat themselves up too much in the Euros this summer and played so hard, and then they're just like they're just hitting a decline in form, which it's not crazy really, but.
So if Italy would have won today, would they be?
They'd be playing Portugal in the playoff final tomorrow for whoever makes it in, or in 2 days for whoever makes it in.
Does North Macedonia have a chance against Portugal?
No, they're gonna get curb stomped.
Yes, for all of our viewers here, we're just waiting for Austin to get back, and then we're gonna.
They have one
start.
guy that plays in the Premier League, and he's like 35.
North Macedonia?
Yeah, they have one guy who plays in the Premier League. The rest of them playing they play in Italy, so I guess they kind of seen these guys a lot.
Is winning Euros though kind of just like okay, like that's cool, like we can like miss the World Cup, or is it still?
No, you really did not want to miss the World Cup.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's probably good for those players because they're playing in December of next year, so.
Where is it? Is it Qatar, right?
Yeah, it's in Qatar.
Yeah.
They have to play in December, so it's kind of going to be hard because that's when a lot of like club competition is right then. So
yeah.
The bodies of people are not going to be very good.
Yeah.
Probably going to be a lot of injuries.
I don't see people playing for. I feel like people would just play for their country at that point. I don't know.
There's a lot more money in playing for a club, though.
Yeah.
A lot more money, but yeah, the U.S. is qualifying. I think they play tonight. They play Mexico
to qualify, or they've already.
Yeah,
qualified?
we need to win. So we need to win tonight. Our best option is win tonight, and then we can lose the next game, and then we just have to hope Costa Rica loses. So.
Well, we play Costa Rica on the 30th.
Yeah, they kick off at 10 p.m. I'm not gonna watch that game then. I'm gonna be in bed. No, we play Panama on Sunday, and we play Costa Rica on Wednesday of next week. I think we just need to we can beat Panama. I hope.
Who's the one team that we always struggle against? Is that not Panama, or is that Honduras?
It's Honduras. Because Honduras is so loud.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, it's coming back to me. Canada 1-2-0. It was basically like 1-0 though.
Yeah. Canada's. It's just tough. We don't play the same roster ever, and it's just such a mess.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we just had a little more stability and a little less injury, we'd probably be the best team in CONCACAF.
You think the U.S. qualifies this year?
Hopefully. I mean, I'm not going to get my hopes up like usual. Like if I put my hopes up like I did against Trinidad and Tobago and we lose, I mean,
Just gonna ruin your day.
it's just going to be it's just kind of how this year is going to go for sports, I guess. Till the Colts win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. All right,
Dude,
we're
the
gonna start.
AFC is going to be wild.
We're gonna start, and Oscar just hop in. But everybody, this is episode. I didn't realize this was the 20th episode of Across the Board. Got a pretty good show. We're doing Thursday night. Sweet 16 comes on at 7, so we're gonna cover some games. And I personally don't really want to talk about our bracket that much because
it was garbage. We took some
pretty
bozo.
bad.
We had some bozo takes.
Yeah. So but yeah, we're gonna cover that. Austin's back, perfect.
I'm
We're
back.
gonna cover some NFL offseason to start, then some March Madness, and then after that we'll just see where the flow takes us. But yeah, I mean, let's start with the NFL offseason. Big one right there, Alex. Your background, Matt Ryan to the Colts.
Matthew Ice.
I love me some Matty Ice. I can't lie, I love me some Matty Ice. I think he's gonna do a really good job. But is this what the fifth straight year?
Quarterback?
I believe it is the 5th. Yes.
I mean, at what point do you? I mean, I understand you're technically a contender, right? You have a good defense. It seems like the rest of the team's set. But I mean, at what point do you try to draft and develop your own quarterback and stop taking these band-aids?
But like, who's been out there that the Colts have really been in like striking distance of going and getting each year?
I'd say honestly, this was probably the best they could have swung, just like Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
We don't have a first round pick this year. We had one last year, but it wasn't very good. It was like late.
What did the Colts trade for Matty Ice?
A third rounder.
It was a 3rd.
That's it?
Just a third.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. His contract must be fat then, is what I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, it's like
They actually-
15 mil.
They like restructured it too. So.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I like the deal. It's kind of
it's-
weird that Matt Ryan's better than Baker Mayfield right now. That's
Honestly, like I saw like Matt Ryan over the past 5 seasons has been like the 5th most valuable quarterback in the NFL.
he's had the most passing yards in the NFL since like 2016 or something. He's like number one.
He's a good quarterback, and I think that like if you look at the Colts did a similar thing with someone like Phillip Rivers, and I think Matty Ice is a little bit better than Phillip Rivers.
I think so too.
I'll keep it a stack with you. I see it. I can pencil these guys in for like 10 and 11 wins. That's like
Rivers looked like he was in pain every time he dropped back. Like at least like Matt Ryan, like you're gonna like I think people like forget how good this dude was. Just an MVP. Like, gosh, it's gonna sound so weird to say 6 years ago. That's wild. That's wild.
But I think Atlanta is what you have to take with a grain of salt in, is that how bad that offensive line has been, and just how like lackluster his targets have been to throw to. Calvin Ridley left last year in the middle of the year. Like lost Austin Hooper. I mean, he was really only throwing to Kyle Pitts and like some
Russell
Mickey Mouse
Gage?
wideouts. Yeah.
Russell Gage is your number one option. Oh man.
Yeah. So I think maybe the Colts go and get Julio. Maybe
that would be perfect. I think
depends on how much you get him for. I think it depends on how much.
I think you can get him for a dime right
now.
The wide receiver market is so inflated this year, though.
Yeah, but there's a difference between like
Julio Jones is like an all-time great talent, and I think that people are severely discounting him because of the year he had with the Titans.
Yeah. I think there's going to be a lot of teams who are hesitant to sign him, so I think maybe his asking price will go down significantly to the level where the Colts are like, do we bring back T.Y.? or do we go on and do
Yeah.
we get Julio? And I think it has to be get on and get Julio.
Is Ty not under contract right now?
No, he's a free agent.
Do you think they'll let him walk? Yeah.
Do you also do the Colts still have a 2nd round pick?
Yes.
Okay. So I mean, like, there's a load of receivers in the
I'm about
draft
to
class
say,
as well.
yeah.
Sky
I'm-
Moore is who's
Sky
been
Moore,
projected.
That's my dude right there.
That'll be
Still
interesting.
even in the 4th round, there's still really good wide receivers. Like
Exactly.
as my obvious lack of time I spend in class doing some schoolwork, I get on the PFF mock draft simulator.
Simulator, there we go, baby.
4th round, Wan'Dale Robinson's still sitting there, so I think the Colts could really go out and still draft. They don't have to completely sell into going free agency.
Yeah.
You know, like Sky Moore, I'm willing to bet. That guy from South Dakota State who tested really well at the combine.
Christian Watson.
That guy.
Met him, by the way, guys. He's a nice kid.
Okay.
Great
Real
athlete.
quick, I had a couple chats. Rishu was saying that Colts were too cheap to get Stafford. Even if I was Stafford, I probably would have chosen LA over Indy just because. Well, I mean, better team, and I mean it's LA. And then also we were probably gonna bring it up later, but Alex, you're talking about it before the show. Kobe's estate just signed back with Nike, so Kobe's will not be going extinct.
Is this a heathen take to say that I genuinely think Matt Ryan is a better quarterback than Matthew Stafford is?
No, I don't think it is.
I don't think so.
Yeah, like I would say for the price that they got him, and they restructured his contract so it's not like an albatross.
And he's got everything ready for him.
Yeah, I think this is like an absolute slam dunk.
Yeah. Now on the opposite side of the spectrum, Baker Mayfield, right? We're gonna talk about Watson later, obviously, but the most interesting storyline I think that came out is Carolina riding with Sam Darnold, I believe, unless they've signed somebody else, but they're riding with Sam Darnold over Baker Mayfield.
That's a hilariously stupid idea.
Yeah. So first question here: do you trust Carolina and Sam Darnold? And next with that, where does Baker Mayfield go? What happens next with him?
I think. Oh, go ahead, Alex.
Here's a crazy thought that Alex Nielsen's going to come out with.
Oh boy, Kentucky's
Carolina.
Oh, whoops.
No, not that one. All right, still
Sorry.
Still a little licking wounds over here. All right.
Sorry.
Carolina could be the worst team in the NFL if they suck this year. Like, look at the draft position of, first of all, the Lions and the Jaguars could significantly improve their teams and get above that 2-14 threshold and allow Carolina to drop down into that bottom tier of we suck. Let's tank for a first rounder. I think at this point, Carolina doesn't want to fully commit into Baker Mayfield and take that step because how much money they've realistically spent on bringing Cam Newton and Sam Darnold in is going to be just as much to, first of all, get rid of them, which I see as impossible to get rid of Sam Darnold to anybody at this point. I mean, he's more a detriment to your team than he is a positive. So why waste money, go get Baker and then eat yourself alive in all that cap space that you have taken up by two terrible quarterbacks?
Do you think Baker's going to command that much money? I mean, I feel like he's almost getting to the point where he's going to be that 1 year contract type of guy.
I think that he is good enough to demand anywhere from like the 25 to 30 mil a year. Like when I think of Baker Mayfield, I think of like when Kirk Cousins signed with the Vikings. I think like that's the kind of money he deserves because I think he's a little worse than Kirk Cousins.
I think he's like a little bit under Kirk Cousins, but
obviously I think you have to take last year with a grain of salt. But
he was hurt. He was hurt,
and I think that he has honestly like his passing, like his career production is just as good as someone like. I kind of want to say Lamar Jackson, but I think that's a little out of pocket.
Just a little bit.
He was great, below average, great, bad, but injured.
Yeah.
And I think that equates to somewhere around like a top 12, top 15 guy.
I could see a top 15.
Yeah. And, I think that carries a lot of worth in the NFL. And I think that teams that are in need of a quarterback should be looking to him, as he is, I would say, a good NFL quarterback.
So where does he go? I mean, like, who really
mean,
needs a quarterback right
Houston.
now? They're gonna rock with Davis Mills.
You imagine
like-
though?
Like, guys, let's seriously look at this. Like, we're putting Davis Mills on a pedestal compared
But
to
Baker
someone who
Mayfield's
has
way better than Davis Mills.
Well, we know,
proven
yeah,
success.
we're not arguing that. It's just one, Houston's not even built to, like, they're not a quarterback away from doing anything, and I don't think Baker's going to really change the course of their franchise right now. And honestly, they're probably happy with just developing Davis, tanking another year, and getting another draft pick.
I think the one though that really sticks out to me is Pete Carroll in Seattle.
Yeah, the Seahawks.
They're the only team that
Yeah.
I feel like they are so desperate to get back to those winning ways that I think they would be willing to succumb and go, all right, we'll trade for Baker Mayfield.
You know
But-
that they rock with Drew Lock?
No. No.
He's
And
no.
I
never
think-
gotten like a legit chance in my opinion.
No, he got a legit chance.
Yeah, Drew Lock's bad. Baker Mayfield is significantly less bad.
That's
I would
true.
not
That's true.
venture to make the claim that he is good, but I would say he's significantly less bad
He's
than
mid.
Drew Lock.
He would have pretty good targets to throw to as well with Noah
Exactly,
Fant,
yeah.
DK Metcalf, and Tyler Lockett. I mean,
And I know, but that
that offensive line is the one
offensive
thing I'm sitting
line,
there.
I was
is
just
like,
saying.
Baker's not good under pressure.
Yeah.
Like he's like a first read menace. I think when he gets his first read, like the only quarterback who's been better than him over the past couple of years is like Aaron Rodgers. But as soon as he's forced off that first read, it's a crapshoot.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking at other teams. I Seattle. I mean, could you argue? Nah, I don't think you could argue San Fran. They'd probably just rock with. Are they rocking with Jimmy G?
I think
think
Mayfield is like a decent amount better than Garoppolo.
Oh
So-
yeah, but
but does he fit the Kyle Shanahan mold of quarterbacks?
Yes, like West Coast bootleg. Like Baker Mayfield is a stud off like bootleg play action.
Okay.
do you think they get
but
him?
he's
Though,
got
or is it Trey Lance season?
I think it's still Trey
Oh, I
Lance
forgot
for
about
them.
Trey Lance. Yeah, they gotta stick with
Yeah.
him, yeah.
I forgot about Trey Lance.
I mean,
too.
my
It's just-
my only like shot in the dark, like underdog we don't see coming out of anywhere is the Giants.
who did they just sign though?
They have Daniel
Tyrod
Jones.
Taylor,
Yeah.
the most
but, like,
underrated quarterback in the
um,
NFL.
True, but he's gonna get injured, and then his backup will take
yeah,
over.
then it's Daniel Jones.
I thought they
Daniel
signed. I guess they didn't sign. I guess you could.
I don't even know who goes out and gets a quarterback because I look at every single team and they're like, they have a quarterback they like.
They have
like,
a
no
quarterback that they
team is-
like, or there's just no reason to go out and get a better
Mhm.
one because you're gonna lose anyway.
Exactly. And that's what I think the Seattle fit is just a little like they make the most
Mm.
sense, but at the same time, if you trade away the best quarterback you've ever had and like arguably a top 5 quarterback, are
Mhm.
you trying to get right back into contention or are you trying to rebuild?
I think they're trying to dunk at this point. Like I think
That's-
they're just trying to dump.
I just don't know if I trust them wanting to rebuild because I mean DK's still there. I mean, well,
They
they
still have
did cut. They
pieces.
cut Bobby. They cut Bobby Wagner. Forgot about that.
Yeah, how can they do that?
know, they didn't
I
even
think
cut
they're
him.
that
cleaning
entire-
house.
That entire like era of Seattle is just it's gone now.
Yeah, they didn't even tell him, by the way, that
Mm.
they cut him. Like he found out from like the media or something, or his agent. But like they like the team themselves never like went to him and they were like, "Yeah, we're moving on from you," which is wild to me.
Yeah, just one of the
Um,
best linebackers of the millennia.
Yeah.
And now the
Uh,
Rams are going to get him, guys. Great.
Probably, honestly.
the what about the Commanders? I mean, I know they got Carson, right? They got Carson Wentz.
No. You've already spent, in my opinion, looking at Washington, you've already spent a lot of money to bring in Carson Wentz. Why would you go out and get another
I'm
quarterback?
sorry, but you really think Carson Wentz is going to lead that team? They were 7-10 last year. You think he's going to make that much of a difference?
In that Mickey Mouse of a league that they're playing in? Sure.
Honestly, Baker would be the second best quarterback in the NFC East.
Because I mean, think about it. They traded for Carson. They didn't know Baker was going to be available at that time. Like, I guarantee you that if Baker was available at the time they made the trade for Carson, that they would have traded for Baker instead.
Yeah. It's such a strange situation because
And it's not
usually
even,
a quarterback of Baker's talents should be on a team, you know? He's proven that he can like lead a successful team and win playoff games. And it's just so strange that there just doesn't seem to be a fit for him.
It's just a bad. Everybody's kind of just set in their situation right now, quarterback wise. So bad market. One situation I don't think we really talked about a ton is if I think is Alex frozen? Oh no, Alex is not frozen.
No, I'm not.
You're eerily still. I was like, that's crazy. No, I mean, one situation we haven't talked about is Deshaun Watson gets suspended by the NFL, possibly half the season or the year. I understand Baker did say he requested a trade and probably doesn't want to play there again, but is there a possibility that he could just stay with the Browns for one more year?
I think they already got Brissett, so I think that's like their.
I think he's deep in the hole at this point that the Browns are like, yeah, sorry, well, we'll pay you your money so that you can leave next year.
Yeah.
And you can just go. I mean, I really don't see any way that they're like, all right, you went out on social media and said you hate the city of Cleveland, basically. Time for you to go play again.
Did he really? God.
He blew Kevin Stefanski up after he made him play with the injury, and his wife has been out there saying stuff. So I think at this point that the relationship has been severed between the organization and him.
Yeah. It's just
feel
crazy.
So bad for it just doesn't make any sense.
It's crazy how fast these things happen because literally, like a year and a half ago, like, yeah, Baker makes some mistakes, but that team's really on the up and coming. Like, he really seems to have changed the culture there. Like, they can get to the playoffs, and now he's gone. Like, I feel like this is a new era in the NFL, man. Like, this
like Baker
5 years
Baker
ago,
Mayfield,
you never see this.
Baker Mayfield single-handedly turned Cleveland into like a not laughingstock franchise, and I think that deserves respect.
Yeah,
it does deserve respect, but if you're an NFL GM, I really don't think you're giving that respect at this point. It's a business, and you got to keep on moving. And Deshaun Watson came available, and you traded for him, and you got him.
Yeah,
and you can't pass on that.
From a football perspective.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Just talk about some other signings here. Allen Robinson to the Rams. I mean, as a Bears fan, it is what it is. I mean, yeah, it is what it is. J.C. Jackson to the Chargers. He got a bag. Chargers looking good this year. They've done some good signings. Jamison Crowder to the Bills. He's been rotting away on the Jets. So happy to see him go to a good team.
He's always like the fifth wide receiver I pick in my fantasy drafts. He's always a good like flex pick.
Well, hasn't he played? He's played on the Jets, and then he played on the Washington football team, right?
Yeah.
Before that, yeah. Lyle Collins, former
Great
Cowboy,
pickup.
to protect Joey B and Cincy.
The Bengals are doing everything right now.
They really are.
Really, they are actually like they've looked at this and like, wow, our offensive line sucked, but it was just one half of the offensive line that sucked.
Yeah.
So let's go patch those holes up, and then they still have the 31st pick in the draft, so they can go out and go get someone else if they have to. I mean,
and I think the Bengals have exemplified like an analytics Twitter, like mainstay. It's just you got to creep back towards average on the offensive line. I think they didn't overspend not overspend, but spend the big bucks on like a Teron Armstead, but they got serviceable quality, like level players for reasonable deals, like without allocating that much cap. And it's just like, what more could you ask for?
They're doing a great job. Last couple signings here, obviously Deshaun Watson to Cleveland. Obviously, depending on what his suspension status is, a huge upgrade. And then Jacksonville going out and getting a couple more targets for Trevor Lawrence. I believe they lost Chark, but they pick up Kirk and they pick up Zay Jones. Yeah, I mean,
and Evan Ingram.
Who he's yeah. He's okay. But I mean, still more targets for Lawrence, which is what you want. So, yeah, overall pretty active NFL offseason so far.
Pretty active. I would say this is the most bonkers NFL offseason
I mean,
I've experienced.
it's just like I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, first of all, team
Oh,
loyalty has got tossed out the window by Tyreek Hill at this
I'm about
point.
to say, I literally just forgot Tyreek Hill.
This man 2 years ago after winning a Super Bowl says, I'm going to win 7 rings with you all like Jordan, and then says, deuces, the cash is in Miami. I'm out.
I cannot believe he left.
I mean,
I don't.
And I saw it today. He dumped the Chiefs possibly into a third place team in the AFC West now.
Honestly.
I mean, you took a competitive division last year, made it more competitive, and then the Chiefs sit on their hands and don't re-sign Tyreek Hill. I think Andy Reid's
asking for too much. He's asking for
Andy
too much.
Reid's going to be kicking himself.
I will say, I do think that they did get more than enough for him.
Oh, they got enough.
They got a lot.
And I think that, yet again, this is like, it seems like it's always a good year for receivers. But, replacing an all-time talent with a rookie is never going to yield the best results.
I'll be honest, though.
Immediately.
I'll be honest. I mean, I'm not saying Tyreek isn't good or anything, but I feel like wide receivers is one of those. It's one of those positions where you could get close to the productivity from like a lower round draft pick, depending on how you scheme, depending on what plays you run. Obviously, it won't be the same effect as Tyreek, but I think they could be fine if they make some good pickups.
Like a Jameson Williams or a Chris Olave. If you squint,
Yeah.
They run a lot of the same routes.
I like you. Honestly, I really
they don't
like
have
Olave.
those guys going in. They have PFF right now, and I don't own the subscription, so I can say whatever I want to say. they have Treylon Burks and Sky Moore. Like those are their two.
I
picks
think
right
that's
now.
those are. Good.
I think Treylon Burks is good because it provides that more physical target, and then Sky Moore provides more of that slot receiver target. But in my opinion, you look at the rest of their wide receiving core, it's going to get a lot
tragic.
I feel like Travis Kelce's just going to have to become the workhorse for this team. And I think that's not good playing against Denver and now a Chargers really good aerial team that's going to be able to cover you all the way down the field. I mean, it's just tough. Like, I think they really needed to talk to Tyreek Hill and say, we understand you think your value is worth this, but you're more valuable to this franchise than you will be worth to Miami as a longevity and like success compared to like the cold hard cash.
Do you see Miami doing anything?
I think they actually fight. I think they will become a second place team because
they've got a really good roster.
The Patriots have sat on their hands too. The Patriots have done nothing with that roster. And I mean, they've really gone back to like, all right, how was football played in the 70s? Let's do that.
They spent all their money last year.
Yeah. So I think it's a competitive division. And I think you can't beat Buffalo now that they have Von Miller. I'm sorry. Like Buffalo is, I think they split the season series. I think they split the season series, in my opinion. I mean,
I'll be honest,
Buffalo,
man. That I love Von Miller, but that was a major bag that he got. I think they almost paid him too much for how old he is. Like,
because he's in his 30s, right?
He's like 37. 30, he'll be 43 when his contract expires.
Von Miller's 37.
Yes.
Yep.
Like,
I thought he was like 31.
No, he is. He's 32. He's 32.
Oh, what? Who posted that on Twitter? What bozo posted that one on
Twitter?
He's
32, but I mean that's still old in football, especially for like an edge player.
And Von Miller's trump card as an edge defender, I think, was always been his speed. Yeah.
Are you telling me what was it? 5 years, 120?
6 years, 120.
6, yeah.
6 years, 120.
I think that whoever
20 mil a year.
Whoever is in charge of personnel, they saw that Super Bowl and they were like, "This guy." Now let me tell you, this guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah, but I mean, that's when you
guys. We've never had really good linebackers. Let's go spend all our cap space on
like
one.
He's like, I'd never expected him to get another long-term deal. I know he played well in the Super Bowl, but I didn't expect a 6-year deal.
Yeah, especially when I think that Buffalo could have used the money on maybe a wide receiver.
Maybe
Especially 'cause
another
they just
corner
lost-
to
they
help
just
Cornelius
lost-
White.
Both
lost Zay
positions
Jones.
that are
too.
objectively more valuable than edge defender.
I mean, you could say this is a bozo take, but I think Buffalo peaked. Honestly, I don't think they'll
still don't
they'll
think
ever
they've
get
hit
over
their
the hump.
peak.
I don't
still
think they'll get
they've
over
hit
the
their
hump.
peak.
I love Josh Allen, but I don't feel like they're building. Have they done anything at running back? I love Singletary, but like, have they done anything there? Have they
No,
like-
and I think that speaks to their shrewdness as an organization.
like they haven't added any receivers, and you lose Zay Jones.
The receivers ones is I think the most concerning.
I mean, your
but
defense
Gabriel
is
Davis had
good.
4 touchdowns in. I mean, I think they're looking at their mold right now like, okay, well, we just lost someone, but we can go find a random guy in free agency that'll catch 4 touchdowns in a playoff game for us when Stephon Diggs is getting locked up. I mean,
I don't know. I just don't. I see them always being that like second best, third best team in the AFC.
I don't think they're that anymore. I think they're realistically looking at the landscape of the AFC now, I think they could push into the upper echelon of the AFC. Now that Kansas City, I think, is going to really be like.
Kansas City's still going to be good.
Their defense is horrible.
Their roster,
sorry.
I feel like this also brings to a point, something that I've thought for a long time, that the Chiefs having Patrick Mahomes has honestly made up for a lot of their team building
bailed them out.
Yeah. Because just looking at the way their roster is constructed, they have cap space. I think their second most cap space is like Frank Clark, which is like gross.
Yeah.
They're paying a defensive tackle who's not Aaron Donald like $20 million a year. And it's like,
when you saw
I love me some Chris Jones, but I'm just saying they're
Yeah.
not that valuable in the grand.
And I just think you look at Kansas City last year in those first 6 weeks, and they were just terrible,
great.
to be honest.
But they'll always have Pat Mahomes. The Chargers are going to be good this year. I mean,
but
you
who
still
was there
have-
to bail? Who was there to bail them out when they got really good? Tyreek Hill. And who was not there to bail them out? McCole Hardman. Oh yeah, just McCole Hardman. 'cause the rest
Byron
of them are
Pringle.
gone.
Let's say,
Yeah,
Pringle,
I mean-
he just got signed to the Bears, I think. Right, Pringle.
There's just like outside of Travis Kelce. I mean, Hilaire Edwards had an okay season at the end of the year. Their defense isn't gonna like smack you in the mouth like the Bills, the Chargers. I mean, I just see this is the downfall of Kansas City. In my opinion, this is the downfall of Kansas City.
As much as they can fall down, having Patrick Mahomes.
I must say, having an all-time
Yeah.
great. I don't know. I just feel like the AFC is just such a bloodbath this year,
yeah.
and I just don't know.
I mean, when you look at like all the other teams who have comparable quarterbacks, because I would still say Mahomes is probably the best in the NFL. But when you look at the teams like the Chargers, the Broncos, the Bengals, the Browns,
Ravens are going to be good this year as long as they
Ravens
don't
too.
get injured and COVID every other week.
I think that all of those teams have honestly substantially better overall rosters than the Chiefs do.
Mitch Trubisky revenge season on the Steelers.
It's gonna happen.
I'm just saying, I think there's 10 teams in the AFC that can realistically make a run into the playoffs. And I think it's going to be who has that star talent at the end of the year to get there. And I don't knock Patrick Mahomes, and I don't knock Travis Kelce, and I don't knock Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy, but to me, they have 2 pieces of offense that just can't get it done. I think there needs to be that third kind of catalyst to their offense.
And especially when you look at the way that teams have started to think about defense in the advent of Mahomes, like, teams like the Chiefs single-handedly kind of changed the way that teams play defense in the NFL these days. And, this whole arms race in the AFC, I feel like was started to stop the Chiefs, and the ultimate biggest loser of said arms race is going to end up being the Chiefs.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to continue it next week because we got to move on to our next segment. But NFL's heating up. We have draft coming up pretty soon. It's perfect timing because we have another panelist hopping on for our March
Oh my
Madness
goodness.
segment. Whatever he's on, we'll
Comes the
start
Michigan
it.
kid.
Here we go.
I'm from Michigan too.
Perfect timing. Rishi, we're just about to go into our
I
March Madness
stormed
segment.
the Big House Field when they beat Ohio State. Don't you ever. All right.
Okay, I don't hear
Oh.
you on the Michigan bandwagon though.
I was the one.
I understand there's more than one Michigan fan in the world, Austin. It's okay. We can share.
You guys can
I'm just saying that
coexist.
I bleed maize and blue. All right.
Okay.
It don't,
okay,
it don't bleed on to the background of your Zoom call though.
Austin changes that. Let's get into it. March Madness. Our bracket sucked. Everybody's bracket sucked. But man, this has been crazy. So I'm just gonna go through not everyone, but just the highlights. First big one, which nobody saw coming, in my opinion, New Mexico State beating UConn was.
Unless you're
Oh,
tired.
that was the one. That was the big one that no one expected.
I'm starting. I'm starting. Yeah. The first.
Unless
the
you're
first,
Tyler and you have New Mexico State going to
That's
the
true.
Final Four.
Tyler's bracket was perfect, and then San Diego State lost, so that's tough. But no, I mean New Mexico State beat UConn. Another big one, obviously. Go scroll down a little bit. I'm sorry, Alex. St.
It's
Peter's beating
Fine.
Kentucky. Little old St. Peter's, whose campus is literally one road, and they have the size of a middle school gym. Actually, I think I've seen some middle school gyms that have been the same or better than theirs. So that's tough.
Can happen to anyone.
It can happen to anyone. Somebody's got to lose the 15 Cinderella seeds. Though, it just had to be you. It had to be you. Another big one was, and this hurts my heart, Richmond beating Iowa.
I think when that one happened, we all realized that this was going to be a bad year.
I don't know if you guys.
We're all like,
I don't know if you guys
Oh,
watched
boy.
the post game interview with the Richmond point guard, but I forgot. All he said was at the end, he was just like, they're like, what are they? What if there was one thing you could say about your team? What could you tell the nation right now? He was like, we can dance, and I thought that was cold. I can't lie. And he just walked off. He's like, we can dance.
And then they got
promptly
slaughtered
lost
in the next round.
They promptly lost to Providence 2 days later. But that was one of the coldest March Madness quotes I've heard in a minute. But yeah, I mean, that first round was absolutely nuts, and there was so many close games too. Chattanooga was up 20-6 on Illinois, and the only reason Illinois won was because Kofi Coburn gets that offensive rebound late and scores.
I was the only one. I think I was the only one who picked Chattanooga, and I was sure they were going to win. And then Illinois pulled it out.
They had the size. I was like, if they could shut down Kofi, I think it's possible. But
they just kept churning out bigs. They were like, "Oh, one's in foul trouble. Here's another one. Here's another one."
Yeah. It was it was nuts. And there was obviously not upsets, but ones that we all thought were gonna happen. We all thought Virginia Tech was gonna beat Texas.
Yeah, that blew up in everyone's face.
Yeah, it just didn't happen.
I mean, there's so many at this point that I feel like we just have to say, who are you guys the most surprised lost? I mean,
that's a tough one.
In my opinion, it's
right?
Auburn. It's Auburn.
That one too.
Point.
Miami looks. I think it's more of Miami looks really good.
That on paper matchup, Auburn versus Miami, looked like a bloodbath for Miami.
Yeah.
Shout out Isaiah Wong, representing the Asians in the NCAA tournament. He might be the best Asian in the tournament. Isaiah Wong.
Okay.
Better than the guy from the guy from Davidson.
You talking about Davidson?
Yeah.
I mean, dude,
that dude was a shooter.
How do you go out?
Dude was a hooper.
Dude was a hooper. He came out spraying.
No, they did a whole special piece on him, Hyungjun Lee, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm kind of celebrity here. Literally, if you go to the games, there's just a ton of Asian people there supporting." So I don't know what it is. Even though most of the Asian countries aren't that good in international basketball, whenever they got a guy, they really go hard for him.
Do you know what country he's from?
I can Google it.
I'm going to say he's from China based on the name. I did take Chinese in high school, ladies and gentlemen. This is not in.
I was gonna say
anything.
who's gonna be. I don't want to be the one who guesses if I don't know.
I took
I know the
Chinese, and Lee
answer.
is a very common name.
And I had it right. I know the answer. Think of a professor we have.
I thought I was gonna say Korean. I was gonna say Korean. Yeah.
Shout out
Right.
Dr. Lee.
Man, there's not a lot. There's not really. I
I
would have
can't
thought
think
like
of a lot of
China. I would have
Korean,
thought China.
yeah.
I would have thought like Japan because like both of those countries are like pretty good like basketball wise, but not many Korean hoopers.
Korea,
Like
yeah.
That's true, yeah.
That's dope. A big surprise. Oh, well, hold on. Let me answer the original question. Who was surprised, or who we were most disappointed with, or most surprised that lost in the first round? Obviously, you could throw Kentucky in there.
Yeah, but like, let's just stop talking about that and let's get on the other teams.
I mean, in my opinion, I feel like it's got to be Iowa because like you just won the Big Ten tournament. Your star player is like his stock's shooting up in the NBA right now. Like I'm pretty sure like a top 5 pick, and like you had all this momentum, and obviously everybody thought like, yeah, they wouldn't shoot as well, or they could have a bad shooting night, but like they just did not put it all together.
I think they were like the first domino that fell,
Mhm,
and everybody
mhm.
was like, "Uh-oh."
But like, I mean, besides that, like Wisconsin had to be like the most like hated on 3rd seed, and I'm pretty sure we picked them to lose to Iowa State in our second
deservingly,
round.
they deserve to be the most hated
Yeah.
on seed because Johnny Davis has just proved like I don't even know what to say about his draft stock right now. Like I think it has like just dropped like a rock.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, yeah, I don't know. This UCLA almost lost to Akron. I don't know if you guys were watching that game.
That
was
was
a little scary,
crazy.
but I want to go a little bit more into my most surprising team, and I feel like it's got to be UNC, man. Like,
Yeah.
Oh my God, where was this UNC
well,
team?
I don't know,
right?
I don't know. But Austin, who are you thinking of? Because
I was gonna say Houston. I mean, like all the analytics, they said Houston was a sleeping giant, but they were all like, "Oh, they haven't even beat like a
Yeah.
quadrant 1 team," and then they come out and they welly on UAV, and then they clamp on Kofi Coburn.
God,
that
Same
game's
thing
gonna be
happened last year too. Same thing
that
happened
game,
last year.
That game's gonna be so good tonight. I don't know if you guys watched that Arizona TCU game, but Pac-12 player
My
of the
heart,
year, bro. Benedict,
that dunk,
I don't know what his name is. I just know his first name.
Benedict Mathurin.
That's a player of the year. He won them that game. I would say that TCU needed to box out better, but that dude was just like, I'm getting this board. I'm getting this and one layup. That dude hit a 3 with like 3 seconds left and watched it go in. Like, oh man, he's a player. He's a hooper.
To be certain.
I don't know. But I mean, go ahead.
Yeah, I would say that in terms of how convincingly teams have won relative to their seeding, I think that it's honestly, I would probably give it to UNC in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, they blew the brakes off Marquette, and then they kind of handily, they were up big on Baylor, right? And then it got a little
and
closer.
then they were up by like 20 at the half. Then Manic got ejected.
Don't count that second half.
Yeah.
That second half doesn't count.
It doesn't count.
They've almost definitely played the best out of anyone in this tournament, like in terms of just dominating.
Like first 2 rounds. Yeah.
I would honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I'd probably give it to UNC because they did knock off a 1 seed. I would say if Houston,
Michigan,
them too.
Yeah, Michigan is another team, but I can't say that. Like,
I will say this. Iggy, r/college basketball had this graph of the top 20 paid college basketball coaches, and well, you're gonna like this, Michigan fans. Juwan Howard ranks first in tournament winning percentage. He was on the lower end of like career winning percentage regular season, but he has like an 85% tournament winning percentage. But the best part about that graph is there was one coach that ranked dead last in both career winning percentage and tournament winning percentage, and it was Rick Barnes. And they always said you always pick against Rick Barnes because in his past 4 NCAA tournaments, he has lost to a lower seed.
No, what to say. I watched that game and I was like, wow, where has this Michigan team been?
Yeah.
Because they came out on. I'm pretty sure when Juwan Howard punched someone in the face, he must have
The
given this Michigan
chakra
team
was unlocked.
some like
yeah.
some.
I was gonna make that my
something.
background.
I had
No, their
I had it as
defense-
mine for a minute.
Their defense has been really good. Like ever since the end of the first half against Colorado State, they turned up the defense, and I mean they like literally like Tennessee was way more athletic than them, and they were they were stopping them. So
I can't
And
lie,
I
that
think-
guy stepped up. Frankie Collins stepped up in that second half against Colorado State.
he's
Go ahead,
been
Austin.
balling. Yeah,
And then I think when I've looked at Ken Palm's adjusted efficiency metrics, and Michigan had faced the best slate of offenses of any team in the country this year. And I think, when you don't have that murderer's row of like Iowa and Purdue, that, they're maybe not so bad of a defense, because they were a good offense, but the defense, I would say, was their big question mark.
Yeah. Well, can we go into our picks of the Sweet 16 now? Are we
Let's get
ready
it.
for it? Let's start with the first game, Gonzaga Arkansas. I don't know if you guys watched that Gonzaga Memphis game, but I'm not a Penny hater. But I will say that if they did have a better coach than Penny, I think they beat Gonzaga there. It was a close game. But anyway, I mean, Gonzaga Arkansas.
They just play too. Arkansas just plays too slow. I mean, I think
Yeah.
the spread for that game is very inflated, but I just think stylistically it's a bad matchup. Like the offenses,
you can
Are
play
bad
slow
matchup.
in March. You can play slow in March.
I just think, but like in terms of how Gonzaga likes to play, and Arkansas is a good defense,
Arkansas has also
they're gonna
played
play hard.
nobodies. They've played nobodies, so not nobodies, but I mean they've had close games against Vermont and New Mexico State. Are they really tuned up and ready to go against
best team in the
Gonzaga?
country.
Do they have good post defenders? Because every team that Drew Timmy's just going to get 25 if you can't guard in the post. So
There's currently 6 to 7 guys if you have not been watching. So
They have Jalen Williams in the post, another Asian hooper.
I'm just gonna toss it out there. I think Arkansas is gonna win because this is the only good SEC team that I have left in this fight. So let's go Arkansas.
The copium is viscous.
So who's
Come
been
on.
more
From Alex.
who's been more disappointing this tournament, the SEC or the Big Ten?
The SEC by a landslide.
Thank you.
I
Because
texted
I feel
you
like
guys and said the Big Ten actually isn't that fraudulent. I did text that and say that. So
because I feel like
Let's wait till the
the SEC
end of
had
this
like
round.
2 bona fide, like could win it all teams in Auburn
Yeah,
and
well,
Kentucky.
I'm
I
tired
think
of-
like
yeah, I hope next year they don't tell anyone that they're bona fide win teams so that they can actually play well. So yeah.
I feel like people had to like rose tinted glasses with like Iowa
Mm.
for them to be like a championship
Yeah,
team. But you
yeah.
could see it with like Kentucky and Auburn.
Yeah.
I have Arkansas catching a dub.
Arkansas. I have Gonzaga.
Zags
Zags.
by a million. Millie.
I'll take the Zags in a close one.
Okay, respectable. Texas Tech and Duke.
Ugh.
I don't know about
I hate watching Texas Tech basketball.
They're just play defense and we win.
See what happens on.
I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, personally, I have Texas Tech in this one.
Yeah. I think Texas Tech's just a tough defensive matchup.
Yeah.
I think that I saw something on The Athletic about how the ACC didn't have any teams who ranked in the top 40 in the country in like adjusted defensive efficiency metrics, which kind of inflates Duke's like they're a good offense, but
Mhm.
they are in.
Yeah,
a
but they
weak
really had to
defensive
dig in
conference.
against Michigan State. And I think
Exactly.
that's where, to me, it's like I don't feel the complete trust in the Coach K tour.
Mhm.
So I got to go with Texas Tech just being more defensively sound.
For sure.
Good fundamental basketball.
So we got 3 Texas
Give me
Tech?
Duke. Give me Duke. I don't know how they're gonna win, but I'll take Duke.
3-1. Okay, respect. Probably one of my favorite Sweet 16 matchups. North Carolina and UCLA. That's gonna be
Here.
a fun game.
Now
That's
I
easy
want
one for
to.
me.
I'm gonna disclose some information as to remain objective as to why I am picking UCLA. Well, there's 2 bits of information. One, they do have a song about them, which I don't think any other team has. Don't forget.
Oh, God.
And 2, there may or may not be a futures bet with UCLA winning their part of the bracket with my name on it. So gotta ride the Bruins.
Respect. I'm picking UCLA also. I have them winning my main bracket, so I gotta keep them going.
I got UNC. I mean, it's so hard to slow momentum down in college basketball. I mean, you come off a win beating, even though Baylor was hobbled, a very good Baylor team.
Still a good Baylor team. Yeah.
UNC.
Another. Oh, wait, no, that's 2-2. Oh, we're split. Okay. This one, we're not doing coin flips. We're not doing bracket. We're just, picking games. But yeah, that'll be a fun one. Purdue St. Peter's. I got St. Peter's. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I got
the
St.
spread.
Peters,
If there's
punching Purdue in the face, just
if I can give one
Mhm.
piece of betting advice, hammer the St. Peter's line. They're like plus 12.5.
Oh,
That is heinous considering that they've already beat a team who's better than Purdue. IMO.
they can shoot the lights out of you if you're Purdue. And that's where
what
I
you
think
need.
Purdue is currently peeing their pants. And the fact that Purdue might be the slowest team on the break with their center running like he has 2 boat anchors strapped to his feet.
I think that it cuts both ways though, because who's the tallest player on St. Peter's is
He's
6'8".
not tall, but they're fast. I mean, that's
Yeah.
my thing. They can get down the floor fast enough. You don't have to worry about who's tall.
I would hammer that plus
Yeah.
12.5 St. Peter's. That's easy money in my opinion.
I also feel like Jaden Ivey's gonna have one of those moments where he's just doing too much,
Yeah.
and the frustration's gonna build.
And then he's
but
gonna
he could
quit
also
playing
just-
defense.
Yeah, or he could just come out and drop 30. But I don't think there's gonna be any in between. But I still have St. Peter's, but
What is everyone? So what's the count right now? St. Peter's has how many?
All
votes?
of them.
there's 3.
They're the people's team.
I'm torn on this game. I'll say St. Peter's, but I might change by the end of this podcast.
Fair,
Well, obviously Purdue's gonna win, but
it's fun to pick St. Peter's.
St. Peter's is gonna win in our hearts
Yeah,
because they got here.
No, they're
Legit-
not
no,
going to
they
win
could
in my
actually
heart.
They could actually win.
I
They're
think they
never
could
winning
win.
in my heart.
I think they could win. Iowa State, Miami.
Miami.
Me.
The way they're playing right now, I don't know if you could bet against them. Although they were a bank shot away from losing to USC.
They do have a song named
so
after them. Noah Williams did sing it, so
That's true.
Oh,
Sure.
who has the
Going
song
to-
name?
Miami.
Oh, that's
Welcome
right.
to Miami.
Not
Yep.
on these on the break of dawn. I'm going to Miami.
Yeah,
'Cause Iowa
Noah
State-
Stranahan.
Gotta pick
sung it,
Miami
so-
then.
Miami.
Yeah, the way they're playing right now, I'm picking Miami.
I've loved Miami since last year. But every time I pick against them, they end up winning. So I'm gonna go with Iowa State.
Fair. I like it. Another interesting one: Kansas and Providence. I can't lie, Kansas has they're playing good. They're playing good. I feel like Kansas usually, this is one, if Kansas gets eliminated, this is usually where it happens. Sweet 16-ish area. So
I think I saw they have the highest chances of making the Final Four out of any of the remaining teams.
I think they can beat, because you beat a Providence. This is their test. Whoever wins this matchup, in my opinion, goes to the Final Four. It's hard to go against Providence the way they've been playing.
No, I think I'm a
No.
firm believer in positive regression to the mean, and they are literally the luckiest team in the country. And all luck runs out eventually.
That's true.
Bad take.
Well,
Bad take. I
I'm
want to take
taking-
Providence, but my bracket has Kansas. So give me Kansas.
I'm taking my luck, so slap Providence on there for me.
I love Providence.
I hate
But
college
Go
basketball
Providence.
right now.
Ah,
so-
Alex. It hurts me to see you like this.
I'll
They're
go
good.
Providence
They're
right now.
good.
Analytics have been tossed out
They
the
are
window
good.
after that first round.
Providence
They're
is
all
good.
gone.
All right, next one for my Blue fans out there. Villanova, Michigan.
God,
I mean,
I'm so torn in this game.
Villanova plays like a well-oiled machine. I don't really think they've struggled at all so far in this
they
tournament.
remind me of I went to play intramural basketball my freshman year, and the first game that we had was against these dentist like grad students. They were like in their 30s, and they were all they were in sync with each other. They were just good fundamentals. They've been playing together forever. They remind me of those guys.
Yeah.
Just boys who have been hooping forever, and they just work.
There's just a system, and it's just built for March. Jay Wright's got it figured out.
I mean, so does Juwan Howard.
So does Juwan with his 85% tournament winning percentage. And 4 years he's been at Michigan? 3 years?
I'm going Juwan Howard.
I think that Villanova's going to win this game. I just think they're better. But I think there is a significant weakness that Villanova has, and it is the size.
Mm-hmm.
I would argue, what the Hunter Dickinson, maybe the best big man remaining in the tourney. Mayhaps.
Abaji at
shit! I forgot.
And
about him.
Do we not? I'm gonna say, do we not consider Paulo a big?
He's a small forward.
He's 6'10", like
Come on.
250 something.
So's KD.
Fair.
You look at both those people and tell me that they're both 6'10" and 250 pounds, because they both, I think, are listed at that.
That's very true.
I don't update weights in the NBA.
We do have a hard cutoff at 7:30 today, so we do have to keep moving. Last match.
Michigan.
Oh,
Michigan.
Okay, yeah, Michigan. I feel like everybody picked mostly Michigan. I picked Villanova. Alex, who'd you pick?
Michigan.
Okay, all right. I'll be the odd one out. Arizona, Houston. It's gonna be a banger.
God.
Give me
Houston.
Benedict.
Houston by
Benedict.
a million.
It's gonna be a tie.
Yeah,
I think this is like
tied.
this is like quadruple overtime. I mean, like last second buzzer beater kind of game to me. Like, I don't see anything pulling either team off each other. I feel like it's gonna just be who kills who first.
Mm-hmm.
I think in many ways, Houston is just like better TCU, and TCU almost beat Arizona. So
Fair.
I
I think
mean,
Houston.
I think Arizona definitely got the worst draw of all the 1 seeds.
I got Arizona just based off talent.
Yeah.
Arizona off talent.
I got Arizona. Wildcats.
Houston, because I also have mayhap instance a futures bet with them winning their part of the bracket that may or may not be in my name as well. So
wow, Austin
go Cougars.
Go
Cougars.
If this doesn't hit, we're gonna have to call the hotline for gambling.
No. If Gonzaga wins it all, everything goes away. It's all good. So, but what if all three of them hit? I'll be a millionaire.
I may happen stance.
Well, guys, we've come in the last 4 minutes of our show. It's hot take season. What are our hot takes? There's not really like any crazy upsets anymore. I mean, it's like
I feel like I just gave a lot of hot takes.
I know what my hot take is. I don't know if it's hot, but the Peacocks, they're going to the Final Four.
Team of destiny.
I think they get there. The Peacocks are going to the Final Four.
Well, can I give one that's completely not related to March Madness and also won't happen for like another month? I want this one to be in the annals of across the board history. I do not think Aiden Hutchinson will be the number 1 overall pick in the draft.
And instead of Aiden Hutchinson, who will it be?
The Jaguars are going to be stupid and draft like Evan Neal.
Mm-hmm.
So the Lions. I'm not. I mean, obviously not.
That's not a bad pick.
I know he's like Hutchinson is like minus 300 now.
Yeah.
This is just me manifesting him to the Lions. So
fair. Rishi, Alex.
I'm looking at golf right now because I watch an aggressive amount of it. So it's match play week at the Dell. So I'm trying to see who's playing who. So
is Bryson there?
No.
Oh, thank God.
1 second. I'm looking it up. It's gonna give me a minute here.
Can I just while he's looking that up? Bryson DeChambeau is a giant weenie, and he makes me ashamed to like math and sports at the same time. So I just want to put
I
that out
honestly
there.
think Bryson DeChambeau might be smarter than 90% of athletes in the world.
That's true, but he's also a giant dweeb.
He
And
is a
that is
dweeb.
something I cannot stand.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot find. I just want to know who they're playing, people. Like, seriously. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
2 minutes left.
Oh no,
You got
DeChambeau
it.
is returning.
I got mine. Cam Moore, Isaiah Wong, and Cameron McGusty will combine for 60 points against Iowa State's, I think, pretty good defense. I don't know if they're actually good.
Okay.
Oh, no, yeah.
Oh.
Iowa State's held Wisconsin under 50. Okay, no. Iowa State's held Wisconsin under 50 and LSU 54-54. So I'll say those three guys will outscore that.
Fair. Alex?
Ladies and gentlemen, on Sunday, Will Zalatoris will win. Calling it. Lock it in.
Now
I love him to death. He's been my guy since he almost won that Masters. And when Adam Sandler tweeted at him, I knew he was bound to be a G at golf. So Will Zalatoris, W, 50-1 odds for Austin's betting. So go hammer that. So
hammer it. Smash it
I'm
with a
rocking
hammer.
with golf this week, guys.
All
since
right.
basketball is kind of boring.
That's fair. Everybody, it was a good week. Episode 20 is over. Thank you all for hopping on. Enjoy some more March Madness games. By next week, we'll know who our Final Four is, I believe. Yes, we will know who our Final Four is by next week. Hope your golf guy wins, Alex. And
Me too.
I will see you all next week. I'm going to pause because what I've noticed is when we cut it off immediately, it just cuts off. All right, now we're gone. Bye.